beneficial. So tell us, in what way will this scheme, help us to grow our economy?
I mean, the MD made it clear that Creditcorp, they don't lend to businesses. So what it means, basically, is that when they are lending to individuals, they are improving. The whole idea is, or part of it, of course, they will improve the lifestyle of the person who is borrowing. You don't have a TV, you have a TV. You don't have laptop, you can have laptop. You can buy all sorts of things, solar and all that. But I think if they should, tilt towards supporting people, to acquire not just consumable items, but items that can actually assist them to generate income, I think that would be better. And then secondly, like I said earlier, it's important, to support local production, whatever it is. I think that way, that will also be good. Then thirdly, I will encourage them to have partners who are also into alternative financing. Here I'm referring to non-interest finance institutions, because some people will not borrow, simply because of the interest element in it. But there is nothing wrong in partnering with non-interest bearing financial institutions who will now, people will have access to some of those credits. As much as possible, it's good for people to have, to enjoy life, to have facilities and enjoy all the facilities. But I think whatever we do in our current situation in Nigeria, whatever we do that will add income, somehow, not just consume, and things like that, I think that would be better, as much as possible. But you cannot stop a borrower from deciding what he or she wants to do, except so long as it is within the compartment of whatever is agreed. But the more we encourage people to do things that will encourage and improve, their economic livelihood, I think the better. Solar will help, certainly. Laptop can help because you can make money out of laptop. But whatever it is, I will encourage them to support domestic businesses indirectly by supporting or financing or encouraging finances that have to do with locally manufactured products.
Professor Ango, let's get back here in the studio. Professor Dr. Akin Shiju, of course, Prof in view, I guess. Let's, as we begin to round up the conversation, because we have a second leg to this program this morning. What challenges do you foresee for this initiative?
Challenges? Well, I think if you do a process analysis or a process audit of what the DG had said, I think it aligns with the basic universal banking processes, credit security processes too. What kind of challenge? The challenge will be the need for scalability. I am very sure very soon this scheme will be very popular, and so therefore challenges of demand and supply will set in. So what's the quantum of fund available to the corporation? What's the quantum of demand, for the services and of course the credits by the Creditcorp? Is 400,000 targeted now. They are also talked about going to 1 million, but at 1 million, the product would have become so popular. You may have about 10, 20 million Nigerians, asking for this kind of product. Would the banks, the financial industry, would it properly buy into the service itself so that it can, organically also take off at that level without depending on what Creditcorp is doing? Of course, I am also aware of a number of agencies that are also trying to de-risk consumer credit. But again, knowing where we're also going, we are running now more of a free market economy. There'll be so much activities around production and productivity, and therefore income will likely increase. Also when you look at what the tax. When the tax bill is signed into becomes an act, there will be more discretionary income. Okay. And when you have more discretionary income, it's likely channeled towards more of consumption. Would the Creditcorp be able, to finance the kind of volume of demands that I foresee coming towards it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Uzoma, as we round up, I just want you to tell us how can consumers avoid some common pitfalls when assessing, credit through your Creditcorp?
I think the first is that people should understand and have a very clear picture of their income. I know that sounds obvious, that people should know what they earn, but when people go to borrow, there's a heightened sense of optimism, sometimes an irrational optimism, that they can handle more credit than their income suggests. So, which is why we are increasingly becoming big on credit education and orienting the public around responsible access of credit and responsible use of credit. So, that was, to say it in more lay terms, borrow, definitely, improve your life, definitely, but no do pass yourself. Just assess your income, and like a good rule of thumb is don't borrow more than 1/3 of your income every month will be repaying. So if you're making 300,000 naira a month, you can borrow 3 million naira if it's a 3.6 million naira if it's a 3-year loan, so that you can be paying 100,000 naira roughly every month. Obviously, I'm not accounting for interest, but do the math roughly, and then you would be responsible with your borrowing.
All right, fantastic. Ebdi, how are you trying to manage equity and equality in all of this?
Oh, I'm back with the better stats. The last time we came, our women's stats were low. Now we are probably about equalizing, maybe 45% women. And even you're going to see happen more in our next set of schemes. We are seeing that women historically have tended to be better borrowers, just more responsible users of credit, and it's just backed by data. I used to do credit programs even before this job, and we even got to, at the time, the World Bank to invest in research, understanding
so women
credit
are better borrowers?
Women are just more judicious users of capital.
Because they collect it from us.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know the reason, but they definitely are more responsible with repayments of loans. So it's not only just a good thing, like culturally good thing, it's not something you do out of the goodness of your heart, but it's actually good business to lend more money to women. The challenge is that with women, they have fewer credit records. They have fewer opportunities. They've had fewer opportunities to put themselves out there. They've had fewer credit histories. They also have lower income. So it takes more work to be able to access credit-worthy women. So it's one of those counterintuitive things. It's like many women are not easy to assess as credit-worthy. Even if they are, it's just hard to assess them. Just
that's the men-women angle. But what about even spread across the country? I mean, with the NEL Fund, of course, we heard a cry at a particular point in time that a section of the country was, not a part of it. But with this, I mean, every part of the country?
Every part of the country is accessing consumer credit from Creditcorp, enabled by Creditcorp. We work with partners that have spread nationwide. They are not particularly, they're agnostic to where the credit is coming from. And we tend to find that a lot of our borrowers come from just, everywhere in the country. So that is less of the issue. And where we historically have had deficiencies on regions, we then find partners, on-board partners, for example, that meet that deficiency. So if I have a deficiency, say, in the North Central, and then I say, which are the banks and the microfinance banks that are strong here, so we onboard them. So we use that to balance. It's even easier to do that than to do it for, say, gender, because there are not many banks that you can say are strong on women or strong on men. They're just banks or microfinance banks. But for region, that's easier. You know the banks or microfinance that work better in Southwest or Southeast or South or North Central or whatnot.
Okay, let's get a parting shot from Prof. in